Hello, beautiful folk, wherever you are, back to the internet, one-on-one live, and I'm coming one-on-one from a correctional service, talk about the police station here, and I've come to understand and know what's really following the pathway. It's just a correctional area for much of the people. Talk about anyone is allowed, you can just get in. It's just packed here, waiting for whatever the case it's gonna be. It can just act perpendicularly for unit time, and this is a correctional area. Talk about you can just be put here for a little bit of time for you to wait, for you to be arraigned in court for much of the things gonna be coming. So today I've just arrived here to make sure that I'm gonna be capturing much of 2-3 scenes about what has been the trending. Talk about the MWANGO and also Maru and whatever is just taking place, because the village rush now, it's the police station is just taking that kind of a course at this kind of the time, and we are just inside here to understand how the things are gonna be coming and what is really meant by right now, because the report is coming at this kind of the time that we are getting from the police officers here, and what the OB is meaning at this kind of the time is that the guy is accused, because today again they have added another case from insult, humanitarian insult into attempt of murder. That is what Maru today in the morning announced to the village, that they have to come and change that kind of a case into another scenario. So that is what is right now. I'm coming here to understand how is it, and also to check the other people are just behind the bars to understand how is their life, are they treated, how is everything here, and what are they talking about at this kind of the scene. Because already I've just spoken with this kind of the people who are just aligned here, and they're talking about the things that how they were. They are forcing for things that are not to be there. But the same equation is everybody gonna be talking about his own side, but not talking about the other side, how it's gonna be, and that is the difference. That's why they are here, for them to be aligned in court tomorrow. So as we can just know, talk about the raw and the cooked one, and talk about diving into it and understanding is it a real factual thing that's going to be coming, because we have to understand and estimate, and also get to the point, and also pinpoint what is really happening, and also engage into this kind of the platform, so we can just bring you one-on-one to understand, is it a clemency for getting other plots, or they're talking about they cannot come out from this kind of the space, talk about the police station, or from being accused of the allegations that are just written onto the OB, which are bigger than the offense, or the offense that they have just done to the ground, because they have to squeeze it. What's really fostering it into you can change and squeeze everything at this kind of the time. Talk about, are you allowed to change the case from the one to another one? Is it illegal, or how is it? I wanted to understand it, and also gauge to know what's really happening at this kind of time. Yesterday it was another case, today it's another case. Is it allowed to be that way? Maybe from the lawyerization I cannot know how to handle that kind of a way, but I know it's something that's going to be triggered, and what is coming from the ground is we are just whenever you say in the village that we're going to be bringing much of the people, whenever they see such kind of a vehicle, police, a vehicle here, they know that things going to be cooking at this kind of the moment, and you will be fearing. Talk about, they want to create that kind of a fear of much of the people to come here, but it's just an office for everybody, and nobody, even wherever you are, an MP, wherever, even a president, can be put at such kind of a place for him to be interrogated, and also they understand, so they can just be stored there for a little bit and be taken to the court when you're going to be having its own litigation process, as you're going to be alleged or guilty or not guilty. That is what's going to be coming from this kind of the side. Keep it tuned, as I'm going to be coming back to this kind of the area to understand how is it, because in MWANGO they have just come out from here again with the Murimi, and you understand, whenever you have just put that kind of a case already onto the platform, you have to understand that it's going to be something that you can talk about. You have to leave now the police to do much of the things that are going to be doing at that kind of particular moment, but at this kind of the way, they're now following it up to understand how is it they can add, re-add, print, reprint, and whatever, and that is what is now following the pathway. But we understand that it's a way of making sure that they're going to be putting their case and filing their own files, because it has to be filed before getting to the same idea of getting forward. So keep it tuned. I'm going to be coming back to you live from the sphere and understand what's really going to be cooking up at this position. Keep it tuned, keep it locked. Back again. This is Isipane police station, and these are parking lots. Keep it wagon. We're going to be coming back from inside. We're going to be hearing 2-3 shenanigans here. We're going to be coming to you. But we are put in fear. But the fear I don't think it's going to be happening. This time round, things are going to be cooking. Keep it low. Guys, at this time we have the family members who are just inside here right now, and also they are here to make sure that they are just looking for their own person, because even if you are bad, at which kind of the rate you are bad, always you should have people who will ever back up you, and also they will be ever with you to talk about they're going to be supporting that kind of the rate. So right now we have the family members who are just here to hear which kind of the case is just filed, and also bring some of the food and such kind of the stuffs for this kind of the people who are here. And also I'm just going back to the village there to understand how the proper alignment is done, because tomorrow is on Monday. They're going to be taken to the court, or are they going to be charged in terms of the cash bill, or they're going to be allowed to go out with the bonding. So it's going to be coming tomorrow, as we're going to be understanding the real way of understanding this kind of the case, how it will be, because already it's just being changed from one platform to another. Until tomorrow we just know which kind of talk about the thoughts they have just put together, and how is the case going to be reading in terms of the sentence progress, as we're going to be understanding the proper way of legitimization at this kind of the point. So as far as everything is in concern, let's get to the point and stick to the point, because we're going to be coming one-on-one from inside and outside here to understand how is everything going. So today is the first day here. They're going to be now getting the second day at this kind of an area, and that is the way we're going to be getting forward. So keep it tuned, keep it locked, back again to its own position, because this is just the beginning. Back to the point. Guys, are from the station back to the spot, back to the route we want to understand, because this is the plot of Zaga. This is Mama Ann's plot that reaches here, and the person who is already in the cell is reaching at this kind of the point. You can this kind of the trees are just perpendicular, and what is coming right now is it's gonna be coming and putting a fence here, which is a perimeter wall also, or a small wall, to get nobody could just be moving to this kind of the point. And that is the idea that is coming from the cell right now, that they're gonna be messing with the wrong person, because you want to remove the fruits from a tree and you are hitting it. What about tomorrow? Will it bear the fruit also? And you are just cutting the legs, not knowing that tomorrow you will need a race. So that is what the family is doing. This family is doing that one at this kind of the time. So the guy is in cell with the small daughter. Talk about the father and the daughter, they're in cell because of them, and yet they're just crying night and days, and they're just crying. The lady is crying like something else. You can imagine, you have a lady, and a lady is being taken to the police station. She's crying there, a young lady, and somebody is outside here talking about, yeah, we have just made it, including Marwa. It's the same mind, stupid mind they're just using, including the same lady. They're just using very stupid mind. They are passing the same highway for the same person they have just aligned in court, and they're going to be aligning him in court tomorrow, which is on Monday, which is a very stupid thing that they're just doing, and they're thinking about they're making it as a legacy. At this kind of the sport, I'm telling you that things are crooked at this point here. And to the far point I can just talk about is the family is crying. They are looking for money for them to come out, the cash bill, and Maro is just pronouncing shit at the ground, talking about they have just made them to suffer, and they'll sell their own plots to make it happen. This is the highway we are talking about, from the far end coming to this zone. You can see there are trees, they're just made for this guy. He's the one who has given out the road. It's not onto the map, and yet they're insisting that this road is onto the map and they will use it, including the far end. You can see this guy is starting from here, the other guy is starting from here, and this is the road they're just using, and this guy is the one who is in cell. He's talking about, I don't want them to step alongside my way, because they even damaged the gate. This is the gate that they damaged using the trucks, including the upper section, and he's talking about they have damaged my properties, and I don't want that kind of a habit to to continue. But they're coming out to talk about they have to go to sell, and also they have to sell the land to get themselves out. And that is what Maro is speaking as a horizon person who is talking about he has the dignity alongside this kind of the village. A very crooked idea, stupid person idea, and that is not the ideology of getting forward. You're talking about going to be having money, you're going to be changing lives, but you are changing your own life and leaving other people in cells to rot, including going to facilitate another evidence and talking about they're going to be accusating the guy and alleging the guy, and they have gone to write another statement, including Murimi, who is the father. They talk about the brother to his father, and is just in cell talking about, you know, understand what? We are going to change the statement into from talk about this kind of an assault into attempt of murder, because it was facilitated from Maro, and it's talking about they will never get out from the cell. I'm coming from there. They're just suffering there. People are just going there and checking at them, and no family member talking about the brothers are just going to check him in the cell. They're talking about the family is so powerful. That is a stupid idea, a stupid thing. And this road today was the one that was bringing much of the chaos. There's a stone that was here, and they've talked about they have to remove it. And I talked about it in a previous video, talking about they're going to be bringing out or removing a very big rock that was here. Already it's removed, and they have removed the rock, but they don't know if the road going to be passing yet. Because when the owner going to be out, talking about they have made it happen because they know they want to get the materials to the site as fast as possible as the guy is still in cell. That is an idea, because he's refusing his own assets to be tempered with the stupid ideologies. But at this kind of the time, they're still insisting because of money, because they don't have a pure land for them to go. They're using people like the fathers of this kind of the young generation who can be attempted of handouts and remove their own stupid ideologies again and talk about let's bond together, let's get the money to you and you can make it happen. Already they're going to be making it happen. They're going to be using people because there's money. They're going to be rolling people with money. Talk about, hey, young boy, you have the same family, you know them. They will be using him to cause troubles, to cause chaos. But at the end of the day, when they'll build and finish, they'll be just passing with Mercedeses to their own homes and leaving his home stuck. And he will be the outcasted person and the person to be talking about, I wish I knew at that time. The only thing they could have done is the best thing for them to do. They sit down, they solidarize, they talk, they handle this kind of the small cases. They have fathers. They will send the congrats dad to this kind of the fathers here and talk about, we want to have a meeting. How is this kind of the road? Why is it causing the chaos? How can't they use a small brain that even a small boy can use? Talk about, can I call the people from this side, the upper side, and the congrats dad should be there. And also, if Mara want to be there as an older person, he could be there. And also, they will talk about this kind of the road. How is it? If they're going to be buying it, let them buy because they have money. Why could they have this kind of an obsolete way of handling things like used police, use handouts so that they can cause troubles, causing troubles in a road that's not bought with them. It's not 100% that it is for the village. It was just for the person's plot because he's going to be using it to transport his own stuffs, very equivalent to other spaces they need. But they want to take it as a shortcut, which Maro is always talking about. Oh, Gintu, you are using shortcuts in the YouTube and do whatever. What is he using? This is the stupidest way ever possible of handling matters in conjunction with the community. If they have a good brain capacity, they went to school, they could just analyze that the family issues talk about the plot. In Africa, a plot is an asset that has caused terribles, has caused graves. These lands, they have cost many people in jail. They have cost many people in the graves. They have cost people with so many scars of life. These plots have caused people not to talk, have caused people to die miserable, have caused people to be not normal in the village. And that is the absolute way they want to handle matters in conjunction with the same village they're living. All of them, they have bought their lands from the same family. They are now extending their hands to extra families that they know they have a better opportunity, that this land is better. Because I think they're eyeing forward to get the plot of the guy who is now in cell with the boy, talk about the son and the daughter. And they're just traveling outside here, talking about you have some Mercedes Benzes, and some of the people are suffering in cell, talking about eating cabbages, eating nothing, and they're talking about, yeah, we have money, we will do whatever we want, including the Congrats dad coming out today. I was there with my naked eyes, telling, he was talking to the Ernesto's father that I am warning Mugesi and I'm warning your son. He was telling the father to Ernesto, I'm warning your son. I don't want them to interfere with this kind of the thing. I was there listening, and I talked about what is really talking about here, because they have think about when they have arrested other people, they think about they're going to be arresting everybody. They're going to be doing it. So right now the Congress that is just jumping ABCD, talking about now we have arrested the person who has not been making them to progress. Look at this person's fence. It was demolished with a vehicle because of what? Ignorance, stupidity, nonsense, and talking about you have money. So when they're going to be complaining that, oh, why is my fence tempered on? They will be talking about, what are you talking about? You just made it onto the road, which is absolutely stupid mind, stupid idea, and which cannot even buffer somebody to go forward. So if we want to absolutely think about what are we doing at this specific module, we have to understand ourselves. So right now people are sleeping in cell. They're sleeping in their beds. They're talking about, yeah, we have made it happen. Now it's no longer available. So the family, whom do you want to depend on the family? You could have even thought about, let's get the father only. Now you have taken even the son. Now the mother is remaining here alone. So you want to come and incite yourselves here? You want the conduct to come and incite themselves? Something stupid, something which is causing troubles every time. So let's think about it as the community and solve issues, not taking matters in their own absence of money, or take some of the things that are going to be extending them to another panel, which is stupidity of the highest order. Let's rectify ourselves. Let's maintain law and service. Okay, tomorrow they're going to be arraigned in court and talk about, they're going to be answering the questions, talk about attempt of murder. That's what the case is talking about. And when they go there, they want to be giving out the cash bill, talking about the father, the son, and the daughter. They're going to be cash billed tomorrow. Everybody will be talking about 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Where is 30,000 right now? If you are making money using your YouTube, not everybody is making money daily the way you're making it. So don't take advantage of the situation and handle it as you and talk about that is what you want to do. So that is Ginto's kicker. If you understand it, you're going to be getting forward. But this is a cry of justice. Who is causing terrible? Who is causing chaos to the village? You gotta know we are still on the point. Let's get the idea from Rocio, what's happening from the village. And the villa, one-on-one from the villa to understand. Where is she? Where was she? And why is she back? Is it because of the Mercedes Benz? Let's get in. And this is Ginto's kicker. Back to the center. And this is the way forward. Back to here. And I know Rocio, she's back. Can I hear her voice a little bit? She's back because she knew that Gabi has nothing to do, and Mercedes Benz is back to the villa, and that's the way forward. We have to understand that one. So at this kind of the moment, guys, I'm coming one-on-one to inform you what's really happening at the ground here. As you can just understand that things are moving very fantastic, are characteristically nice. At this kind of the moment, I can say that what is bringing much of the trouble, and most of the people are asking about how is Rocio, is she back to the villa, or things are not good at this kind of the time. The fact that I'm going to be telling people is put my stand very well, give you a little bit of hope to the people who want hope. Today is today, tomorrow going to be another day. I think also the other feeds are working. So I want to be reporting live from this side here. Yeah. I think it's better. Guys, I think you can see. Let me put this way. Guys, I'm coming live from this kind of gigantic road that has already been dealt with here. Talk about graded, and also put much of the maram here to facilitate the Mercedes Benzes that are already onto the villa. We understand there are two, but much of the people are talking about, oh, Maro has bought two of the Mercedes Benz. It's just one. The other one that is just there, it was just the people who just came so they can just bring the other machine here so they can just make sure they're gonna be working here. So it was like the security, because they have the Subaru and the other one, but they have the same number plate at KDU at this kind of the time, and also they are just a little bit of the black, how we can just call it, in the Lake Kula area here, and that is it. So right now much of the people are asking, how did Rocio manage to come back to the villa? And this is the village report right now on how it has been and how it has gone, because when Rocio was just having some of the collision, talk about the family collision, talk about some wrangles in the family. You understand there are much of the wrangles east, west and south, so as they will just make us a little bit feel not better, but they are the ones that have ever been governing us to make it happen. So at this kind of the time right now, she's just back because the Mercedes Benz is there, and she has to be driven so meticulously because Maro doesn't know how to drive. That is the fact. So he has to be driven, and also Rocio, at least she knows something better. But what made much of the things to be very hard is whereby Rocio gave out the orders to Githiriba so they can just drive him from the villa towards they can just go to the town, because they like going to Migori town so they can just do other shopping, because that's where a little bit you can get we can call it a bigger supermarket or a mart that they can just do much of the shopping. As you understand, Rocio likes chocolate. Talk about chocolates and also some sweets that she ever meant it, and she ever likes about the mint. And when you go direct to the point and ask about how is mint, what is the mint, this kind of the stuffs, they always bring the thickness somewhere else where your partner will ever enjoy. You understand what I mean at that kind of the point. So at this kind of the time, what is last getting to this kind of the point, when she went to Vas Gabi, talk about, you understand how Vas Gabi is always talking and also putting the face aside, and he's talking about, yeah, you know, you Lucio, a little bit, you're gonna be in a good relationship. Me here, I have another conquer the Babylon Hills last year, Mafia, called Bushman. Dude, at least you are at least here. I have now another person who is now more troublesome than how you are talking about. It's just a little bit of giving the hopes, and she stayed at Vasiga because that is the only where the Mzungu is. Talk about whenever you want to see here. You understand Mawera was about to marry this kind of the Vasigabi, but he just surrendered because of unconditional circumstances. You have to understand she was not productive and producing whatever Mawera was needing at that time. So what is going thing to this kind of the point is she has to go to this kind, and our boy here called Bushman Dude ever took the lady and promised the lady so many things, talking about I'm gonna be providing you with we can call it I'm gonna be providing you, or I have a hotel in Mombasa and much more. And Vas Gabi was giving herself and talking about, yeah, my man has a hotel and whatever, and it was just a trick of getting her own attention at that kind of the time. So when all this kind of the staffs went, and Mauro disrupting and talking about even Githiriba right now is not in duty, he has been told that he has to aside a little bit, get aside, so as another person is already taking over the position, talking about is the one who is now making much of the shoppings and driving much of the motorbikes at this kind of the time right now. So right now they have already solidarized, because much of they talk about the WhatsApp channels have been chatting, and also they have just been put together from the WhatsApp a group talking about, it's just headed with Janet Harris and much more, talking about there's another lady who is just there always. She has also, they have just put themselves together, and they have just consolidated, and they have just talked mitigated, and they have just get to the certain point, and Rocio, she's back, but she was about to leave because she's now left vacant, and right now she has now to understand that this is the village and this is how people have to live. When you have a man from Africa, you have to understand the proper way. It's not the way you behave in America. It's the same way you can behave here in Africa, something different. So she has to understand that kind of a propagation. And also, she has to understand that who is the father to Marwa. Talk about, look at the Congrats Daud, how he is, how he acts, how he comes out at that kind of the point. You can come to the conclusion that things are not awesome whenever it comes to the livelihood of the parental and the parentalhood, the genotypic and phenotypic way of handling such kind of the ways forward. So to that kind of an extent already, Rosie could just know that things are not closer the way she thinks about. She can just be handling such kind of things. But those are just the postcoms of the day, and she's back because of the surprise, because the Mercedes-Benz is her surprise, and it was just to be celebrated here. And also much of the people want to be gathering again for the own party of welcoming a car. And it's something which is very weird. You see much of the people talking about, yeah, we are going to Amara there to celebrate a car. Yet them, they have to look for the same effort he's just doing for him to get such kind of a certain car he has just brought for himself. But he's always using much of the people talking about, yeah, you do this and this and that, but he doesn't tell you what he does so as he can just have a progress. That is the failure that much of the people are getting at this kind of the point. Talking about, why can't you tell us that this is the way you do, this is the other way you do, and eventually you can come and talk about this is the end I've just reached, and how this is how you can do. But we are told that, oh, do this and this and then this. Yet whenever some things which talk about, maybe sees that you are getting a little bit of money, people are supporting, again you can turn about you that you are gaining a lot of money, but doing a less job, such kind of a way. So right now even Githiriba is there a little bit, and is just demoralized, and right now is just asking for the forgiveness, because it traumatized Marwa, because his own truck, talk about the safari truck, was hit in the same road, and Githiriba is claiming right now, because they have already put down his own fence, talking about it was the road construction that will help him also, and he was a little bit to decline, and decline about I don't want it to happen, but he had to allow it, because it was his own boss, because they're talking about their own bosses, and that is the point that we talk about. That is the bullshit of the highest order. So the orders came from Rocio, which is the second in order, but they never told Maro. They wanted to rush. You know, sometimes this kind of the picnics of the ladies, they think about, oh, whenever gonna be things gonna be getting fantastic, but at the end it has a causative agent that has lured it to happen the way it is, and that is why right now Githiriba is not allowed. And also Rocio, she's there, but right now she's calm, and I thought she has just posted a video a little bit to alert people that she's back and things are just going on good. Right now I understand she has now learned the proper way of handling the family matters, not solving other things in terms of wanting to outshine, or she wants to look like she's the one who is owning and making sure that the compound is running or whatever is running. At that kind of the point, even if you are the one making the support to come, because I know Maro has eaten out with the baby Machli, talking about as he has eaten from Rocio Machli also, and Rocio has been support also to that kind of the way. So sometimes Maro have to allow such kind of the things to happen, because they have to happen for much more to go forward at this kind of the point. At this kind of the point, I'm going to be talking about it was a little bit of some understanding coming from the village here, and also some shenanigans coming from this kind of the port. But also Gabi Vance, she has been so very well understanding, and also putting this kind of the effort together, and making sure that she has done this kind of the best way of solving this kind of an issue. She has been a key value to elevate and also bring all this kind of the things together, as Maro right now he has Rocio at the house. I think right now he's just now talk about it. We understand whenever Maro was sleeping like a panga, right now he's enjoying himself, and he understand. You can, if you have sometimes you talk about you have this kind of the wife here, and she goes abrupt, my friend, you sleep like a panga. So right, Maro has understood that that is the way of getting forward, and he has to accommodate it and accept it, because he's the one who searched for it. If it could be something that was a little bit different, he could just talk about, I want the sausage girl, or he could need the African lady, whom we can just talk about, I don't want this one to be done. And that's why I like much of the Africans also, because you can tell them this I don't want to be touched. But sometimes when you go to an extent that I told much of the people, you see, they don't want to put their families onto the platform talking about, oh, this is my wife, this is whatever, because they know this is the circumstances that they're going to be getting them at this kind of an extent. What am I saying at this kind of the point? Is whereby everybody will know what you are eating, doing, facilitating and doing everything. The way you clad daily, how you cladded it, which kind of the long trouser, even they can view. A certain point you are wearing this way, you are doing this one, is something which will be crazy at that point. But at an extent, you will be exposing much of the things. You understand how the things has been and talking about, oh, people are just abusing my mother, people are abusing my father because of their own way of solving much of the matters. Mambo? So that is the way you can just talk about it. They have to solve much of the things down level, and whatever gonna be happening, people will be asking that where is Rocio, where is this one, where is the one, we have not seen her in your video, we have not seen her in this kind of the compound, where is it? So everybody will be quoting. So that is the defect that we are ever driven onto, and we have to change upon it at this kind of the time. So that is the things that I want to be reporting live from this kind of an area, talking about everything is just okay right now. They're just together and now formulating to get another child, because they have to go as fast as possible so they can just make sure that things are happening. You understand, people are just mature, and also things going to be coming out more fantastic. So this is the way forward, and she's back to make sure that she's going to be getting her Mercedes-Benz and driving very slowly. But back to the road, because the road is not formulated much better the way it could be facilitated. Right now it has a sun-dried a little bit, and it's a little bit getting very good at this kind of the position to make it happen at the time. So but they have still much more to do, so they can just make sure that the road is facilitated fully and also equipped with much of the soft soil that will not make the this kind of the road more solidated. Talk about this talk about the hard cores are everywhere and becoming a little bit of a problem to the Mercedes-Benz, because they like a smooth surface area. I think it has to do something better. But what I think about, it has been a help talk about this kind of the road. But a problem that is just encountered from here is whereby they don't have proper channeling of water. Talk about they don't have a proper channel of water. This is a very small thing. When guys this kind of the water is coming from the top here, it's coming like safari rally. I tell you as a fact, it's coming like safari rally, and to that kind of an extent I can say that that is a total failure of this kind of that. Again, they will find this kind of the hard goes down there, so they have to do something better. And also I told and I said at the video that they should facilitate other people's talk about the gates, talk about like this one here. It's not made in a way that people can just pass. They're going to be struggling here a little bit, which they could just make something very awesome at this kind of the time. So this kind of the video is going to be to this kind of the platform and engaging and talking about anytime we can just have some of the wrangles, but we can solve them when we need the solvency to solve them at this kind of the time. Sometimes what I can just urge is we have defect, we have talk about talking A, B, C, D, but sometimes what I can tell much of the people is Mario is sometimes so hot-tempered. I know him. Anytime you can find yourself fired, anytime you can find yourself in the platform, and anytime you can find yourself at home. That is the nature that we understand. It has been propagated and also getting forward from this kind of the space. So that is the way forward, but we have to understand how things gonna be coming and ending at the same time here. So to the further point I'm gonna be saying is I saw much of the people talking about, oh, they have been stranded at the airport. Talk about Rocio, she had been stranded onto the airport, or they are with the Gabivas at the embassy of Argentina. But it was a lie. She had been traveling a little bit to Nairobi to a little bit get the stress and the mortality rate low, because it was a very defect and a very bad character that was shown at that kind of the time, and she had to leave because of the scenario. Because right now time you could not tell Marwa anything, so because he is the owner, he knows everything, the car was his, and it was just much of the donation. So Rocio, she's feeling that there's something she has not been getting. Talking about everything Marwa is talking about, it's his. Some of the things are coming on her own courtesy. So why is not Marwa accepting this kind of the things to be like, I can own them and he can own them, but the respect should be there when we want to use them. You can ask about, I want to use this one, or I can just just go. If I have a better or an idea, I think about the day they just scrambled the vehicle. I think she stood with Gitrio because she said that it was just talk about a sliding, and it was not on their own fault to make sure that the vehicle is getting to the ditch and scratch itself at the ditches there. And Gitrio at that time, he couldn't be speechless, and he was talking nothing because it stuck onto the ditch, and they had to come and take it out from there, which is another driver was taken. And Gitrio was talked about he has a long way to go, and he talked about when you don't see him at my platform, don't ask why, because I told much of the people that they're gonna be chasing other people who are good, thinking about whoever is just close to you and doing. Those are the people who are messing properly. And if you have ever made other people to feel bad coming that we are ever at that kind of the position, you think about when you incite them to go out of that position, you're going to be getting that position and adding more value. If Gint was getting 5,000 views, you think about when Gint will come out, those views of Gint will come to me and I get them. That is a very stupid idea, whereby that idea is made with the dwarfism of the mind Asian of some of the people. Talk about silly thinking capacity, and also low thinking capacity is also facilitated with such kind of an idea, talking about that is the way forward of themselves. So this kind of an idea is something that we have to rectify and understand. During that day, I know Gitiriba and Rocio, they were like they can diarrhea for themselves, because they know when Maru could just know such kind of an incident, a scenario. But sometimes Maru has to understand, maybe the defect is coming whereby the people who have ever been driving much of the vehicles, they know the rainy season. Yes, you have to try your best. Talk about I was dealing with the trucks, and one day I got my brother told me that, okay, get that truck out of there, and the truck got stuck, and the tires get deep into the soil. It became a chaos, and my brother could not talk bad because he knows that is the scenario. That is the defect that is produced at that kind of the time. And I talked about now you are coming to know. Now let's move out and you will be facilitated. At this time, Marwa has to be facilitated and be taken to the field when it rains, when it's dull, when it's everything. So as you can understand, because he cannot get a license because of the way he is, we understand the way he is right now. So that is the point that we can be talking about at this kind of the time. So that is the defect a little bit that is forcing things not to happen good. So at this kind of the time, we have to understand. Maro sometimes has to understand. If it's your wife also, let it go. And sometimes also, I know right now Gitiriwe is sending much of the letters talking about tomorrow. You know, ABCD. That is the real fact, because I am at the village and he's living very near here, and is always checking on how the things are. When I went to the road talking about I want to be helping them a little bit to formulate the road and ABCD, Gitiriwe was not talking tomorrow that time, and Rocio was not available, and I heard much of the rumors that she's in Nairobi with Gabi Vaz, and I don't know right now if Gabi Vaz gonna be taken to the villa or Maro could just talk about you are a good person, but she had to look for a better person. Can you guess if Rocio was taken out of the villa, where could she go? Where could she go at the first spot? Even if you have your own home, even if, talk about the Congress mom, there's a time she was chased out of the Congress that home. Where did she run to at that night? I am the very point we are talking about here. So she talked about where. Here, no. Percy is not around. Gitiriba one house. Mayugno, no more zone. Talk about where. Congrats, mom, they don't need me. And how am I going to explain this one? Because the contract will not allow. Where? She had to talk about, let me see at Mayugno's place at the top here, so I can just help myself there. And she was accepted, and she, Gabi Vaz, I talk about salute to you. And that is the best way of handling much of the matters. And also give hope, also, so they can just come out as normal occasion, because this of talking about the marital status is a normal occasion that always occurs from every kind of the family. You can see people having so big houses, people having small houses, but they enjoy their life. But people having big houses, they're gonna not be enjoying, and that is what Rocio is just passing through right now. She's now regretting talking about what did it make me to marry this kind of an African man? Is it money, or is it love, or it's the longness of the cucumber, or is it the stylish how he always twists the waist and talk about this is the angle I need. I don't know if it could be the perfect way of handling such kind of the matters. Right now, what I can talk about is everything should be sorted out clearly and make things come out more responsible. Keep it tuned, coming back to the point as one-on-one from the ground. This is the ground voice. And people supporting, thank you very much for your support and also watching the video, commenting, subscribing, and making it happen. We are moving 10,000 subscribers to go, and we are on the track. Getting to the department of making it happen. Let me check forward and we make it happen. Hello, internet. So that is Ginto's kicker. If you understand it, you're going to be getting forward. But this is a cry of justice. Who is causing terrible, who is causing chaos to the village? You gotta know, we are still on the point. Let's get the idea from Rocio, what's happening from the village and the villa, one-on-one from the villa to understand